This is my Oliver 66 wide front, and it is getting painted. They got a new engine rebuilt, new gauges, stuff like that. Typical stuff you do on a restore. Well, Dad, what did we go through to get this tractor? Where did we get it?
My boy found it in Inwood, Canada. There were snakes everywhere.
Later in fall, that turn gets so bad that it gets slimy and people actually slide off the road.
Anyways, we got back to the border and the guy says, oh, you're gonna have to pay a royalty to bring that Canadian goods into the USA. And I says, well, guys, I don't think so, because this tractor was built in Charles City, Iowa, and I can show you on the tag. And the guy said, you know what? You're right. That tractor's going home.
It wasn't until 2009 that they required passports. Look what I found. I found the trophy I got with it. See, shortest jerk. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of getting in here. Alright, so I got one rear wheel done, and he can be mounted. Here's the second rear wheel. I chased all the holes for the hub to mount the wheel on. And I ran a die down all the hub. So as you can see from that time lapse, we got the wheels mounted. There's a hole right there the oil comes out of. I got a valve cover installed. It came with two gaskets, a set, a thin one and a thick one. I used the thick one, the cork one. Okay, so this is a cabinet sandblaster we had for quite a while. As you can see, it needs a little bit of some cleanup. And I'm gonna hook a hose up to it. And a connector here, gonna get a hose in it. Well, I don't want to use a good hose in here because this is gonna have a coupling. And I see that as getting all sandy and not working after a while. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna blow it off with the compressor, and then I'm gonna clean the window and stuff so you can actually see. And then this is for my 66 project. I'm gonna get back at that thing. I want to sandblast these. That's a perfect job for a little cabinet blaster. It's really not easy to get in there. Like in this area, a wire brush or a wire wheel or anything. You can do the outside maybe, and even this is hard. So that way I can get the fender extenders and lights put on the tractor and stuff and get back at that project. So I'll see what I can do with this. So a while back, I kind of redid all the connectors that we have for air here. So this is actually, I should have went the other way with it. Should have ran the coupler on this side so that way it would stay put when you have the air on there, but I can always switch that. So we're actually running the 1/2 inch here, and that supplies the main sandblaster with more volume, but that's not good for running your, like, you know, your tire pressure, your air nozzle, your blower nozzle, all that stuff. So I just made an adapter. I went from the 1/2 to the 1/4. Now in here you can see this is a Milton V style. You can see the bigger. I'll show you it over here. runs more volume, 70% more flow. You can see here the difference. So here's a standard one here. Let's see if I can. And you can see the difference in size. So one obviously is going to flow a lot more volume of air. So we ran that for all of the 1/4-inch connections. So that seems to work pretty good. You can get them in kits. So you get the male and female and everything you need there. Oh, another nice thing with these is you don't have to, they just connect by pushing on them. You don't have to go pull this back and push it in. It's pull it back and then just a push. So it snaps in easy. There's another thing I liked about them. See, more flow and easier to connect. So thought you couldn't go wrong. Alright, so here's what I came up with. I got this at the hardware store. So I'm gonna put this in here. I'll put Teflon tape on it. And then I'll take this hose. Like here it's bad. So I'll see the other end. I'll just cut it off, I don't know, 5 feet up. Screw an end on here. And then I can have the connector on the outside of the blaster. Alright, I'll see if you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. This is the Oliver 66 wide front. I'm restoring brackets for it. Let's see how this thing works. Almost done. I'm gonna need more stuff to do. Here's how the brackets turned out. Not too bad. Ready for paint. Right?
Yep.
Fender extenders and lights need to be put on. And I gotta work on the front end stuff. So the hubs, tie rods, and the yoke for the steering box. And then the sheet metal, of course. So you've seen the sandblasting of these parts. So they are in green, they need some more paint. Here's one of the hubs that's done. Well, I should say cleaned up and primed anyway. Side curtains. Me, like an idiot or a retard, left them in, they were inside and everything, but got some water in the basement at some point. So they were sitting on the floor kind of, they got rusty here. You can see it on this side of it. I didn't clean it much. So there's two of them. This one I got in primer mostly, you know, cleaning it up. But I got a flaw right here. There's a tear in the metal there. I'm trying to think what caused that. Could it be the steering knuckle that caused that? Something tore that. Let's see how bad the backside is. Yeah, see, I've been cleaning on it, but it was pretty rusty. So I held off on the paint over here because I'll probably bring it into work and TIG weld it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something behind. I'm gonna flatten it first, put something behind it, weld it in, and then I'll probably body fill it, because if you just body fill that, it's not very strong. You need a backing. And other than that, this one's pretty straight. There's a little bit of a bend here. I don't know if I'm just gonna leave it. And maybe while I'm TIG welding, I will beef it up a little bit, because sometimes these spot welds here break. So maybe I'll put a little TIG on. I know the primer will burn off, but so I put new stuff on. No big deal. I just want to get some protection on it. This one, kind of similar. It doesn't have the hole, but it's a little bit beat up here. Really, that's the only spot. Kind of wrinkly. Probably what happened is someone took it off and it fell. You know, or whatever. Could have been ran over there, or who knows what. It's actually a pretty nice panel though, really. But maybe I'll try and flatten this a little bit. I'm not sure. And then for these are what the hub goes on. These are the wear plates. The hub wears against these. So like this, they turn on against that. That seals the dirt from getting in. And if you've seen my last video from like last year, they're 80 bucks a piece for one of these. For one. And to me that's outrageous, and I don't want to pay that. And if it's an AGCO part, they don't need to be greedy like that. I was thinking about having a one cut just for like a washer cut. I could weld it on. I'd probably have to weld sections at a time so it doesn't warp. But if I can't get it, these two are, this one's not too bad, just to be cleaned up. This one is usable. This is actually the old seal. I thought, hey, if I remove the rubber, outside is the same, outer diameter is the same. It's just that the inside is not, won't work. I was hoping that the seal was further out, but it's not. It would No, it actually probably would seal. Probably would seal on that. I wonder why they got this hole so small. Doesn't go as deep either, so I don't know if it would grab onto that spindle. Let's take a look once. I'll have to set you right here. I'll probably drop you. Okay. If that was pounded on, I bet you that would work. That's the old seal. I just removed the rubber part of it. I don't know, but I'll come up with something. One of the problems I have, I'm dealing with right now, is always problems, right? I have the yoke here. I have some tie rod parts here. So one tie rod is right here. It's complete. So one end is this end where you can adjust it. And this bolt holds it in place and clamps it and everything. The other side is screws in, threaded. And sometime in the process here, I lost track of both ends actually. I got all the other parts in the tube. My dad found this part, so I gotta find the screw part, the one that screws in. So what else I need to do? I need to get the crap out of here. I do not have an equalizer pedal. They are a special type for a 66 with the wider disc brake type. This is a wider pedal than the other style, they make band brakes. So I'm out the fender extenders with the brackets which hold the lights. I got the little bullet light for it. And I think I gotta paint the carb. I wonder if that carb's gonna be big enough to feed this, but I didn't go real big on the bore, so let's see. And then I'm not too worried about the sheet metal because I can run it without that, and I can add that on after. Here's the wheels ready to go on. Nice red color. So I got another hub I gotta do, which is right there. I'm gonna clean him up and then touch up, you know, this has to be a couple more coats of yellow. Also on the axles. You do that. And just kind of peck away at it. And that's between all the other projects I'm doing, so I don't have to figure out the wiring for the lights. And I don't know, I'm kind of back and forth on projects. Who knows why. Alright, so I got the brackets painted here. And I have new bolts, carriage bolts for it. So I have to find, I believe I got nuts for it. So this will go here. Actually, well, in the front two, and then on that side, and this side's gonna be the bullet light. I don't think there's a bracket on the bullet light side. I'm not sure on that. Let's see what we got here. So I think I gotta figure out which ones which. Or are they the same? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. If they're the same part number, then they're the same. I don't think it matters much. Guess I'll figure it out as I go here. And if it's wrong, I'll correct it. I don't have to run no wires up, but I can do that after. Alright, so I'm looking in the parts book here. And I really should know this. Apparently I'm an idiot. But how many brackets does it need? So the question is, how many of these brackets does it need? And I was thinking 3, but I'm like, I can't remember if the small little tail light, the bullet light, this guy uses a bracket. So according to this, let's see. I had to find the bracket now. So here's the bracket. So 28 is, says there's 3 of them. So I'm assuming it would be for the main lights. And the tail light doesn't use any. That's what I'm guessing. It must mount right to the fender. So to kind of figure it out as we go here. Also the question about the fender extenders. They are the same. There's no left and right. They're not on a Orchard, but on a roll crop it is 2 required, so they're the same as well as the fender. The fender itself is number 9, 2 required, so it's the same. They're actually 88s. There's a 66 parts book. Same as an 88 then. 1KS. So that I didn't know until now. Okay. So let's figure this out here. I don't even know where the other bracket went. Where did I put it? Well, either way we're gonna need, okay, it's on the seat here. It actually uses tooth washers instead of lock washers, but I'm not real worried about it unless I don't have a full nut. Then I might put tooth washers. But otherwise I'm not worried. I don't have to be that exact. So it's gonna go like this. And then another one. Well, then the middle ones I'm not sure on. I'm not sure on these if you wouldn't run a carriage bolt in that. Maybe a panhead. I don't know. I gotta look. Because these brackets here are set up for carriage bolts. They got the square holes in them. And then the light up mount up here. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna sure how I'm gonna do this here. Second person would be good. I can really get it here. Hopefully. Come on. I got it started. Wow. It's amazing. Didn't think that would happen. Now let's see if I can get this. I'll use my left hand maybe. Run this up here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a bolt on this side first just to hold it. Because it's being a pain in the butt. Like everything always is, right? If I get that guy on with a nut, then it ain't gonna go anywhere. I had to hold it with my mouth. Okay, let's get some more nuts going here. Gotta love the nuts, huh? Okay, let's see if I can get this to go in here. Alright, that's gonna look pretty cool. I had to find it somewhere. I had an itty bitty taillight. Also, a parts book tells you that the early ones were black headlights housings. So this would all be black, and then later ones are green. So I think this mounts. I'm gonna see if you can see me. Just like this, I believe. I'm thinking that's how it's gonna go. And you know, if I gotta touch up a little bit, I do. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so I like to give up on things, because that's cool. So right now I'm gonna go onto this side. So I gotta figure out that tail light thing first. That guy. Start! Don't fall. Yeah! Spider webs?
Ew!
You're in video too.
Thanks.
Please come again. Why can't you freaking start? Okay, you should be able to let it go.
Yeah.
Thanks. You know what I'm missing? I think I'm gonna need brackets. I think there's light clip brackets. Don't worry about them when I get to them. So now I can probably put one of the lights on. I know these have to be grounded through the frame, I believe. There's only one wire to it. Maybe it'll get enough ground through the bolts, but I might have to do some grinding. I don't know. I will find that out later. So we did a 550, that one I used for tilling in that one video. We did the lights on that one, and we had to go back and grind a bunch of stuff. Yeah, this ain't gonna be easy with one person either. Probably be up like this more. Alright, I got a helper. It's at half or 9/16. That looks like 9. Probably be the wrong one. That's the right one. So I'm gonna have to figure out what angle I need here. This will probably go in like this, I believe. Maybe do that after. Alright, so I finished painting this light today, and I figure I'll try and mount the shell on the bracket, since the bracket's on here. And I'll put the guts in it after. And I think I'm going to end this video with that. I got enough content in here. So I'll finish this off. The next video will just be it complete. So the next video I'm going to be wiring it, trying to wire the lights. I have to find a wiring diagram that's accurate, and then a lot of the jumpers from the switch to the fuse box here has to be put on. Here is the original one. I actually have a light here I can put on. This is the original one here. You can see it's just small wires with an O-ring here. And then here's the original, part of the original harness that was underneath here. You can see the bracket here. That bracket mounts, it holds the wire, and it mounts to this hole behind the power lift here. So the next video is going to be wiring it, putting these little brackets on that hold the wire. You want to keep the wire in so it doesn't get caught by mud and tires and whatever. At work I got a guy trying to make some washers for those wear sleeves. So for this, so if I get that done, I'll work on the hubs. I'll get the tires mounted, and we'll just keep moving forward with it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I should have you video 4 coming up soon. I'm trying to keep pushing this project here to get it done, because I would like it done. Alright, well, thanks for watching. And I would think the next video too, I'd be running it around the yard, I would think.